What's going on, good people? About that time that we go live. I'll give you over on YouTube. Get your vote on the poll. Get started in about 30 seconds. Getting myself together. Drinky drink. We'll go ahead and get started. Happy Monday. All right. What's going on, good people? It's your boy, Gaming Dad, and welcome back. Happy Monday. First Monday after game. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see. Today has been a very interesting day, I would have to say. You know what? I'm teaching in a new school, man. Comes with new new challenges, new kids, and I've come to the realization that the kids at my school, they're professional cussers. I mean, they boy, them jokers will cuss and cuss and cuss. Hey, Geeky, welcome to the chatty chat. Get Geeky on the board real quick. How are you doing, Geeky? Get Geeky on the board. You know what? That's right. Your boy Gaming Dad did take the W last week. Forgot about that. Let me get a Geeky on the board. And Geeky 2. All right. But so besides that, um, but yeah, I got some professional cussers in my school. Boy, them jokers, boy, they all they know is every cuss word. That's all they know to communicate. And so you're trying to change that culture and get them to at least recognize, like, hey man, you just can't cuss every time you talk, because you know what, you might mess yourself up. These kids they just don't care, man. And all you do is pray for them. It's like, shoot, Lord, I don't. Sometimes make you kind of discouraged, like, whew, I don't, I don't know. But so yeah, but things could be worse. So I'm very grateful for what I have. Um, I just be praying God's spirit be with me every day. Cause some of them kids, boy, I'd be like, if you was my child, buddy, I would just turn the mic up, son. Got you. Maybe I can get a little closer. I think I had the mic too far back. I'm used to having it like right under my chin, right there. Hmm. But I hope that's better. But yeah, some of the kids, man, I don't know why they cuss so much and why they felt the need to cuss so much. I was like, I didn't like we used to cuss when we was kids, but not like this. Boy, these kids, these jokers, boy, they just be every word is a cuss word. Man, what's going on, my friend? ND Irish Fan 71 in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get you on the board, my friend. I got you on the board. Oh, no problem, Geeky. No problem at all. But yeah, so school is back in full session. My son Tyler off to school. My daughter off to school. My nieces and nephews have started school, and this is on the college level. So I'm praying God's will be with them on their journeys. But for your boy, I mean, listen, things has been going really good. I got a testimony that I'm going to give towards the end of this year. I just kind of give you an idea of how life sometimes can, saying turn you around, and God is definitely have been teaching me in this season. He has showed me some things, and I'm grateful for it. Very very grateful. But you know what? Listen, couple things we're gonna talk about tonight. We'll talk about Gamescom, and I think you know what? Listen, about if you go back and look at the coverage for Gamescom, it kind of gave me like E3 vibes. I thought Gamescom was really really well put together this year, even with all the stuff dealing with Nintendo. We're going to talk about also games key cards. And I think it's time for Nintendo to say, hey, you know what? Listen, we got to offer some other options for these games, because if not, you know what? The, Nintendo himself is kind of like, you know what, digging this hole for their brand. So I can't believe it ran into my first Nintendo game I could not stand. Donkey Kong Bonanza, selling it and buying Cyberpunk instead, not to change the title. What? Now Cyberpunk, listen, I know Cyberpunk is really well done on the Switch. Totally happy with that experience. Totally happy. Um, Hey, Megan. Oh man, listen, you sold Donkey Kong Bonanza. Did you at least beat it? Listen, I own it and have not played it yet because I've been playing Madden. Oh, no, let me. I gotta get some of these people on the board. Let's see. Dub City, man, welcome, man. Good morning to you, my brother. Let me get you on the board. Let's see. Tormentor 20, man, welcome. Uh, Supersonic saved by Grace. He said, "Hold on, let me. I want before I get to your comment. Let me scroll up. Megan is in the building. Get Megan on the board. All right, Megan is on the board. Okay. Seriously, golly, boy, I tell you, so got into an hour of it, and it was too repetitive for me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know what? Listen, I don't like that repetitiveness either. Ooh. See, that was my issue when I first saw the very first trailer of it. I was just like, man, this is I just don't want to waste my time going back and just knocking stuff around. Oh, I hate that. Maybe I have a better experience. I'm still gonna play it, but hope not. However, though, I will tell you though, if I have to pick one game from Gamescom that I'm like, oh buddy, it's Batman. That Batman Lego looks so good. I said, it just fits right up my video game alley. Of course, I'm also happy because Silk Song is coming out next week. I think it's next week. I think it's next week. Next week we had Silk Song finally. That's crazy. So something to say about Grace says I heard today that last month's stream had an adult content ban on it. Then that even Mastercard and Visa ban restricted stream and being bought out. It was all. Listen. I don't know the full details of that. I heard about something dealing with Mastercard. Oh, but that's with Steam. It's dealing with the because on Steam they have a lot of adult themed games that that are sexual in nature. um, Now you can buy those games over there on Steam, and the Nintendo got some, but nothing to the extent what you can get on PC. So yeah, it was a big old thing. I didn't dig too much into that story only because I was just like, well, it is what it is. I was like, it wouldn't be me. So I love the Irish fan says I love all the superhero games. So Batman will be something I hope for. Yeah, that Batman Lego game. If you have not, we're gonna watch the trailer again. I was just so impressed. I was like, oh man, this look like Arkham Knight with Legos. Oh, let this go. I'm ready for this. Oh, I forgot all about it. He said, "What's up, Steve?" He said, "Did you see them remaking a new He-Man game?" I saw the He-Man game. That's like the beat 'em up. Are you talking about that game there? Because that game was dope too. I was like, okay, yeah, He Man might get bought too because I'm a big He Man fan. Um, so the He Man game is a pre-order for me. Laugh out loud. I played with those toys as a kid. Yeah, listen. Hold on 1 second. I gotta reach for it. Here we go. Took me a minute. Hold on, good people. Listen, I was at a retro video game store and looked up and was like, "What?" I had to have it. Da 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 da. I have the power. I had to have it, man. It was a must. It was a must. Stevie, let me get you on the board. I know I get to talking and forget. Might forget you, but not to put you on the board. Supersonic, get you on the board too. All right. He said, now you gotta collect them all. Listen, I know, man. My pockets don't be saying. They be like, no, Dave. Your wife gave you strict instructions. The hater. What's going on, my friend? Let me get you on the board. All right. Make sure I got everybody before I start talking again. You know what? I'm gonna put you, Gorilla. I'm gonna put you right next to Geeky. She arch nemesis. All right. Let me go back up before I forget everybody's comment. Let's see. I think it was right here. We was talking about He-Man. He-Man was listen. I think He-Man wasn't even my favorite He-Man toy. My favorite He-Man toy was Man at Arms. That was my absolute favorite. I love Man at Arms. That was the guy. Steve says footage of Resident Evil Requiem game at Gamescom look good graphically, but I hate them parts where you are running away from a big monster and not able to fight back. Yeah, I know, right? Listen, the terror of just running away is not like shoot. It's like it's okay every now and then, man, but it's not fun to be a core mechanic, right? I want to be running back and busting shots at them. So yeah, I feel your pain totally on that one, Steve. See, GT says payment processors are deciding what legal content can be purchased with the money. Oh, I get adult games may not be your bag, but the people behind this movement also wanted to ban violent games. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming it's a group of people that is putting pressure um on the credit card companies to stop taking payments for these kind of games. Detroit Become Human was one, GTA was another. Now imagine if we go down this slippery slope where God of War is deemed too violent by the payment process. Okay, you're right. Now that to me, you shouldn't get to control what I buy at all. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even have a say so. Okay, so if that is the issue, um, oh yeah, I think we all need to support that, whether you for these types of games or not. It's because you know what you're right. Where do we stop? You know what today is. You know what is sexual explicit games. Tomorrow, like I said, is GTA. It's great. It's some of our favorite games that like, hey, you know, yep, they're a little violent, but you know what, we enjoy that. You don't got the right to control nothing if I'm paying you, right? So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's something that I think we all as gamers and consumers need to pay attention to. GT says, it's like the '90s when the U.S. government blamed violent video games for shootings. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Ricardo, what's going on, sir? Let me get you on the board. Well, I see you right there. Don't forget, good people, we do have a poll going on live on YouTube. Feel free to jump in and get your vote on. T3MP3K. I'm just gonna call you Big T. Man, welcome to the channel. Let me get you on the board real quick. We give out our free Nintendo eShop card every Monday night, and by you jumping into the chat tonight, you have made yourself available for that giveaway. 3K. Gotcha. All right. So, school FPSing is what I meant to say, but got distracted. No problem. No problem. Says T3 MP3. Well, Big T. Well, we'll call it, that's what we'll call you tonight. So, what does Switch 2 have so few new AAA third party games? I believe because Nintendo, I think they have a lot coming down the pipeline. I think Nintendo did something this particular generation so far that I think at everyone I just don't like. They're a little cocky and they're trying to be in control of a lot of things, and it is showing that some of their decisions that they're making is kind of stupid. You're gonna find out like like one of the stories we're gonna talk about tonight, like still big time third party um manufacturers, of certain games are don't have dev kits, which to me is like, man, this has been on for a long time. They should have dev kits, but we're still getting those rumblings. So um I think that a lot more stuff is going to be coming. It's a rumor a big general Nintendo Direct coming, and we probably get a lot more um when that is announced. But right now, man, as of today, it don't look that great, and I think Nintendo is probably I don't know, maybe shooting themselves in the foot. I'm giving Nintendo a little bit of credit, only because they did such a great job with Switch One that um, I hope they don't do any more damage that's already been done to Switch Two. And I think also I think another reason why is that from the black backlash of these game key cards, I think some studios are sitting back and watching the data and looking at like, hey man, how did Cyberpunk do so well? And games with games like Street Fighters, with Street Fighter Two is Street Fighter Six is a really good game on the Switch Two, but why they didn't do well, it could be a number of reasons. Games that's been ported to so many other systems. If Nintendo's getting their sloppy thirds, then everybody like, well, man, I've already played this game already. I'm looking for some new experiences. And so Nintendo doesn't have a lot of new experiences. But that's one thing I think we all can agree with. Even the Nintendo lover in me is that Nintendo don't have a whole lot of really brand new experience, saying that goes along with their system. Now, if you look at myself, I mean, I'm happy with my Switch 2 because, hey, I have a very comparable Madden game, even though it's not 60 frames per second. But I don't have to deal with none of the other issues that I was dealing with on my Steam Deck and on my Legion Go. It was just stuff I was just like, man, I'm just tired of dealing with. That you have to deal with every time that you would try to play that game on this PC's handheld. Now, I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably going to be a really great experience on this new Rogue Alley $1,000 system they have for the Xbox. But however, what I have right now is very efficient for me, so I'm alright with that. Good question, man. Thanks for asking. Let's see. Let me roll up a little bit. Let me see. Move this out the way. All right, there we go. GT says this whole movement has been made by the ESRB irrelevant. It does make it, yeah, it does make them irrelevant. You're right, because like if they're controlling, if this other entity was controlling payments to these games based upon what they think is right, it will make the ESRB irrelevant. Matter of fact, the ESRB should be. If I'm them, I'm running a campaign against these credit card companies. Even though that's a big fight against them, but I would be trying to figure out something. Said they put mature ratings on games for parents to not buy them for their kids. Instead, parents want to be lazy. So now adults can't play mature games. Absolutely. Irish Fan 71 says GTA 5 was the first GTA game I ever played. He said I was hooked right away. Since GTA 6 is not coming the Switch 2, maybe we can get GTA 4 remastered. Yeah, listen, I believe that will be a good choice. But you know what? Listen, we all can sit here and talk about like the best choices for some of these games, but we all know that these companies, they make dumb decisions based upon what they think financially will work and not in the best sense of gamers. Like they don't talk to gamers. To me, if you come like that, you should have gamers on deck, like saying, "Hey man, what do you think?" They should do surveys a lot more often. They'll probably find out that they'll probably make a lot more money. Big T says, actually, the three is supposed to spell E. I apologize for the confusion. Oh no, that's all right. That'll work. So is it Timpec? But that's all right. We'll work it out. Irish fan 71 says, to be honest, the Xbox Roll Alley is looking good, just so expensive. Listen, right. I agree. It does, especially the bigger model. Now, one thing, I don't know if somebody correct me. I haven't heard anything about like the actual battery life of the system. Has anybody heard that information? That information to me, and I've been kind of searching for it a little bit, but I haven't seen nothing. What's going on, Dion? Welcome to the chat, my brother. What did you pick up with your eShop card from last week? All right, Dion on the board. Got you. That's right, Dion. You won last week, so you can't win this week. But I got you on the board anyway. What a rig the board. I'm all in favor of that. GT says, as for Gamescom, I didn't watch it because of Jeff Keighley. Well, listen, when I'm asking you to grade Gamescom, not just that opening night, but the whole 3 day span. I think I think they had a lot of coverage, and just from all the announcements, all of it pulled in together. I gave it a B plus. I thought it was really really good. Um, it had a lot of good information that I wanted to watch. It wasn't no big time surprises necessarily, except for Silk Song being announced for September the 4th. But it still had a lot that I was like, okay, all right, I want to see this here. Um, and I wanted it was stuff in there that I was looking forward to see, and it wasn't a bunch of this absolute fluff. Even some of the games they showed off of PC, I thought was pretty good. So I give it a B plus for an actual weekend show. It wasn't anything like, oh my, it was nothing earth shattering by any stretch of imagination, but it was still to me good enough and entertaining enough to enjoy it. Now, opening night was still like, if I had to grade opening night, I would probably give it like a C minus. It was okay, but once again, to me, it dragged on a little too long. Certain games they got opportunity to be shown, could have been like held off. And then their last big thing wasn't all that great either. Even though like Black Myth Wukong was good, but it was just a cinematic trailer. So they could have started the show off with that thing and let alone end it. They could have just ended it with Resident Evil called it. They should have started it off with what they ended it with. I think that would have been a better opening cinematic. So as for Gamescom, I didn't watch it because Jeff Keighley, whose parents should be slapped for spelling his name, heard there was no Animal Crossing though. So A plus. Shots out to my girl Gigi. Shots fired. It says Irish fan 71 says, I think Splatoon was Nintendo's last different game. They need to do more thinking outside the box like that game. Yeah, you know what? They had a couple that generation. You know what? You can't think about it. They had Arms. I wish they would return back to Arms. I really do. I think Arms was a good game. I just think it needed to be fine tuned, especially when since Smash Brothers is not that close around. But yeah, you're right. I think Nintendo needs to get back to some creative ways and take some risk. I mean, I think at Drag Drive, whatever that basketball game was a good attempt, but I don't think they understood like, hey, you need to also provide some other controls besides because you know what you only play this for you only do this for so long. You don't even better do that for so long. So I don't think Nintendo kind of thought that one out a little bit. But I like the fact that they tried. I just need them to try a little bit more. I think you know what I think it's time for them to create a new IP and to have some different flair than what they currently have, and really put their emphasis in it. So I agree with that one. See, the hater says, you won't find out till it dies in 3 hours like every other hater. What's going on, Tariq? Say hi. It's going good. Gaming Dad. It's going pretty good, my brother. Let me get you on the board. Got you on the board. Say, say yes, sir. Nothing yet. All right. Don't worry. Listen, that means in due time. Jack Black 12 says the only game that got my attention was Hollow Knight Silksong. Man, not even Batman. Batman got my attention, man. So, listen, Silksong always gonna have my attention. It's a day one by. I just need to make sure, like, if it's gonna be, I hope it's physical as well as digital, because that's to me, Silksong is a game that I'm so glad that I own it physically. The original Hollow Knight, and I would like to have Silksong as well as a physical copy. But if it's a game key card, but ooh, buddy, mine track 3. What's going on, sir? Happy Monday to you. I got you on the board. I think Jack Black. That Jack Black 12. Yep, Jack Black 12. Got you on the board, my friend. He said, the hater says, with gaming being as expensive as it is, I'm going to keep it a buck. My backlog is looking real nice now. Listen, um, you're right. Listen, I can't even, like, as much as I want to argue with you on this situation, but no, man, you're absolutely right, man. It's like it's really, really no major reason for me to be like, all right, I gotta get this game. I gotta get this game. There's just like right now. Listen, Silk Song is probably like, okay, I know for sure Silk Song and Metroid Prime is going to get bought this year. But everything else, man, is just like, okay, maybe. You know what? If Resident Evil was coming out this year, Resident Evil would probably get bought. But like even that new what's that new Sony game that's coming? You know, I can't even have a brain fart because I don't pay attention to Sony like that no more. So, however, that new Sony game, I still once again I was like, you know what? I might get it, it might not. What's going on, Baz? I see you popped in the chat. I'm gonna get you on the board right now while I'm thinking about it. Boom. Baz it 24/7 TV. All right, my friend. Let me get you on again. Baz it 2. All right, we good. We in it to win it. All right. Imagine the big gimmick feature of your newest handheld being something literally no one wants to use. Ooh, that's been one of my issues with Nintendo since the GameCube. Now, let's see. Yeah, it's not too many of those games. I was like, oh man, the like Wii Sports is still like legendary, you know what? But the issue with Dragon Drive, man, it just it doesn't have that appeal or that athletic appeal of a Wii Sports. Wii Sports, saying you kind of gotta be active. You can kind of act like in the motion of doing some of the same things they offer within that game that transpires over to real life. But Dragon Drive just wasn't it. They needed to have an option to say, well, if you don't want to do this here, you need to be able to do this here. And I think that would have probably made that game a tad bit more funner. If they would have had some regular controls with that game, I think Dragon Drive probably would have got picked up. But the mere fact that like this is my only way, well, you're not gonna force me. So I didn't like that aspect. So Lost Souls aside, it's a JRPG, so in my wheelhouse. But I'm going to wait. Yeah, I think you know what. This is a good time to sit back and wait. I was looking at Discord before I got on, and GTU, you did pose a really good question, man. In this stage, we probably need to address it a little bit too. Of um of this probably gaming collapse. You know, one, the question I would ask is like, is it really a gaming collapse? It just seems gaming seems real stale and real repetitive right now. That level, like, are we at a point where creativity wise, we at a standstill? It's like, there's not a whole lot of creative games. I know we're going to get out of Metrovania. You know, there's different ways to spice that particular genre up, but we know what we're getting. Um, we know we're getting out of a Souls game, and there's so many of those. You know what? I was looking at like games that I'm really excited about that I probably didn't I need to add to my list. It's like Reanimal. I think Reanimal is like a great creative, different type of your average game, and I dig that. You know what? But there's not a lot of creativity going on. There's a lot of rinse and repeat. It's same kind of style of game, just a different face on it. So, um, oh, go geek! It's Geeky's mom. How you doing, Miss Miss Hayes? How you doing tonight? Let me get you on the board. Ellen's in the building. All right. The Irish fan 71 says Switch 2 gimmicks is mouse control that is very useful. I just hope World of Warcraft comes to Switch 2 and easy portable MMO would be awesome. They can do that now. Yeah, you know what? I think that's the one of the issues is that yes, they have this gimmick, and they don't really have a game from the jump that really utilizes it to its fullest potential. That should have been at launch. There should have been a priority at launch. That wasn't. And so now it's like, yeah, they got this gimmick and it looks really cheesy because you know what? There's really nothing else besides Dragon Drive that kind of uses it. But I'm looking forward to seeing what do Nintendo do with their mouse and control. I want to see how that is effective in Metroid Prime. Like I'm really looking forward to seeing that. That's all. GT says Irish fan allowing Bluetooth connectivity with openness like every other console could be useful. Just let me connect the keyboard and mouse instead of turning a Joy-Con into an uncomfortable mouse. Yeah, well, you know what? You can use a regular mouse, and I believe you can use a keyboard too. I just don't know to the extent, but I know for sure you can use a different mouse. But GT wants everything to be like his gaming experience. He doesn't want any variety. Quite 311, what's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream tonight. Representing Las Vegas in the building. He said, Mario 40th anniversary, missed opportunity. 3D Mario needed. I even take a Switch to Mario Maker port with mouse controls as an update. Woo wee! You know what? I I still think is we still got time. It ain't over quite yet for Nintendo with this Mario 40th anniversary, and I think the reason why we probably didn't see nothing brand new on the Mario front is because I'm telling you that Mario game is coming. Um, I won't say day and date, but it's coming real close around that movie. That's gonna be Nintendo's 1-2 punch. I'm telling you, I wait, get it next year. It's gonna be you're gonna hear about the game and the movie, and them bad boy don't. and don't let them drop both the same opening weekend. Like, get the game, watch the movie, get the game. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy. They gonna make so much money. It's gonna be ridiculous. The Irish fan 71 says the Joy-Con mouse is comfortable. Have you tried it? Oh, it's comfortable. The initial is comfortable, and it all kind of depends on how you have it set up. If you have it anything kind of below you, over time, it becomes a little strained here. And I kind of just messed around with it for a little while as I was going through what's the name of that game? This should have been pack in, but um and I just felt that little tension on my wrist, and I didn't like that. I want to be comfortable. So Geeky says Mario will come soon. Yeah, I listen. I believe couldn't it? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Cause we're gonna talk about like what could they really show at this direct if it's a, we'll talk about all these direct rumors, but if they have a direct, what could they really show that we already don't even know yet? To me, that's the question they have to answer at this next direct. This next direct, it better be like they let the cannons out. Like, listen, this is who we are. Because right now, momentum and excitement for the system seems to kind of be fizzling. So they got to figure out something. So the hater says, "Yeah, I want to pay for a console and play games in the way that is enjoyable for me, not playing within Nintendo's use case scenarios for how use their consoles." But it goes completely against who Nintendo is, though. That what made Nintendo great? Why did all these other companies has imitated Nintendo over the years? Why do they buy why do they come in and steal their creativity from controller outlays to how their systems how much of Nintendo's innovation have other companies stolen? And why? Why do they steal them? They don't have to, because Nintendo create things like, oh man, this is not like everything else, and that's what makes them different. That's why I like, what, hey, I do not mind owning Nintendo and also owning a Steam Deck or a PlayStation, because the company do things differently that makes them unique. And that's why Nintendo has always been like, all right, this has been great because their stuff has been very unique and entertaining at the same time. Can't say you can't. I don't think nobody can sit here and say, well, you know what? I didn't have no fun with the Wii. You can't say that. Yep, they didn't have the best games. I agree. Oh, I agree. But you can't say like, man, I did not have no fun with the Wii. That was an absolute terrible experience. Can't say that. If you can't say that, then you that I don't know. You got no fun bone in your body. So I'm not putting out a table to play wheelchair basketball or training or train a running my Joy Cons across my lap to look like I'm doing something else to a video game that payment process won't be. Ah, GT boy, I tell you, funny. Man, it doesn't. You yourself said you want your traditional controls for drag and drive. Yeah, just for that particular game. But you know what? And that's a one case scenario for that game. Yeah, I think that game would have benefited more from traditional controls. But if you go ahead and you put in Wii Sports into there, no, I want the Wii Sports. I want the nunchuck. I want that experience. That experience was dope. I think you know what Nintendo should have. The nunchuck experience was like a dope experience. And absolutely, it was like it was different, and that's what other companies bit off because they saw because you can see like okay the creativity. Better yet, listen, if the Wii would have had PS3 graphics and their unique controls, it would probably have been the best console of all time. It probably would have sold even more units if it would have had the graphical power. The Wii just didn't have the graphical power to really push games in a manner it needed to be pushed. It was creative, but it didn't have the power. And that creativity was dope. It was dope. You couldn't say it wasn't. The hater said, "I'm the villain for saying this, though." You're not the villain. You're just the guy. You're just the PC guy who's anti Nintendo. Quay says, "I do play tabletop mode occasionally. Still no reason drag and drive and switch to tour weren't pack-ins. Yeah, switch to tour could definitely been a pack-in. Drag and drive just didn't have enough to offer, even the $20 price point. I was like, they needed to add a tad bit more for a game that's as unique and different as that game. And they need if they'd have had worse than regular controls for a basketball game, you can that only goes so far. Like at playing at Wii U basketball was okay, but it wasn't something like, oh man, I just want to play that all the time. Irish Fan 71 says, what is better, a gaming laptop or a PC Switch clone? Seems like gaming laptops is more versatile. Yeah, yeah, it's just big. That I think when you look at a PC handheld, you're looking for um some convenience of size, and a laptop is it can be big, but you know what? It's like one of the things like whatever floats your boat. Like I always pull the reference to cameras because I have the same issue with video game systems that I have with cameras. Like I like my Switch because it's small. It fits my bag. I can pull it out. I can be kind of discreet. Um, but a big laptop is like having a big a big camera. That's like having a Sony A1 with a 70 to 200 millimeter lens on it. Everybody's gonna know what you're doing immediately. So you just don't have that convenience of being a little discreet in your gaming. So the hater says, "Am I'm saying if Nintendo wants to put in mouse and keyboard control for Metroid Prime 4, I want to use an actual mouse and keyboard to play Metroid." I listen. I understand what you probably want, and they give you the option for a real mouse. I just don't know. I don't know about a keyboard though. However, kids can't play it that way, so you have to just make some decisions. I don't say. Irish Fan 71 said that is my next purchase: a gaming laptop or a PC handheld. I don't know, man. I think you probably get more out of a PC handheld. I mean, a PC console rather, PC laptop. Sorry. I think depending if you don't already have a laptop. If you don't have a laptop, I think the PC laptop is probably the way to go. If you're going between those two options, it gives you the productivity on top of the flexibility of being able to game any way you want to. So I think it's definitely benefits bigger screen. It all depends on how you game. But I tell you, is that Rogue Alley does look tempting. I can honestly say we wasn't appeal to me though. The idea of swinging my arms around to play games as opposed to sitting there and move my thumbs wasn't for me. I if I think I played Wii for like 10 minutes. I don't I said, GT man, do you have a lot of friends? To me, what made Wii special is when you got around a bunch of people. And it made it special. When I was playing Wii with a bunch of people, it was like, oh, this was it. It was just like the ultimate bring your family together, let's all play. And once I seen my children get out, the children's grandmother get out there and play like Wii bowling, that was it for me. And was competitive. Listen, that was it, man. Special times. Sorry for the caps. I spilled Dr. Pepper on my keyboard, and now it's working right to replace it. Okay, hey, no problem, man. Steve says, the Wii is my favorite place to play those rail shooters like House of the Dead, Resident Evil, Umbrella. Forgot all about that game. Dead Space Extraction. What I tell you? Resident Evil Umbrella Color was good. GT says, I learned I could cheese Wii Sports with the flick of a wrist and was done. Pew, 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 pew. That wrist was. Pew. It was still fun though. Remember, there was a choice. Um, okay, my wife had to chime in and send me a little message. I had to read it real quick. All right. Aside from that, I don't care much for the Wii. Yeah, you know what? Like looking back, like there's only a few Wii games I was like, oh man, like I would play to this day. Uh, where is it at? I recently, within a year ago, I bought a sight truck. A sight truck on the Wii was like super duper fun. That's like that was like, oh man, that was a really really fun game. Caught me off guard. I don't even know why I bought it recently. I think it was from the same people that made a sight bike, so they made a sight truck. And man, that's a fun game. That's a game I was like, man, I wish came back because I would definitely buy that or play that again. If you plan to be portable, go for a PC handheld. If you play to mostly a stationary, get a laptop, or just build slash buy a desktop. Yeah, to me at that stage, it all depends. Like you know what, if you plan on doing any traveling, if you like that aspect, that's one thing I liked about I think people underestimated about the Wii U is that ability. You take what you have on a TV and then take it what you want to go. Even though it wasn't the best experience compared to the competition, but it gave you a good enough experience where you can go and have a good time. Is it? And this is why piracy is morally okay. Jay Biggs in the building. What's going on, sir? Let me get you on the board. Jay Biggs, Mr. New York for life. I ain't mad at you. Rep your city. All right. Quake says, next purchase will be a PC. My daughter is hooked on 3D printed dragons. Man, listen, I'm not even front. They at the school I teach, they have a whole lab where I can pretty much go in and get anything I want 3D printed. Um, but you know what? They're starting to get cheaper and cheaper, and pretty good high end ones that would typically back in the day cost you like around $1,000. Is getting to like that 500, $300 mark, and so I think what um I'm going to try to aim towards that. If I didn't have to, I'd help out on some kids, pay their tuition bill, I would probably have my PC now. But things happen. All right, good people. Listen, the poll question of the night. Should have put on that grade Gamescom the weekend, not just the opening night. But get your vote on over on YouTube. I gave it a B. I made it a B plus. I thought it was good. It gave me E3 vibes. You know what? Even some of the interviews just wasn't like super bad. Sometimes you can have some of those interviews. You be like, man, this is so terrible. But some of the interviews was pretty good. So I think overall the content that came out of there was pretty good. So get your vote on over YouTube. JB says, I love playing first person shooting games on Wii. Yeah. I listen. Oscar Chapman said, good evening. What's going on, my friend? I'm gonna get you on the board too. While I got you right here. Oxford Trapper. So I do have friends. We play online over the internet. Or back in the day, couch co-op. Man, couch co-op was so fun though. You can't that takes me back to a time when I was in college, man, playing 007, man, and playing Halo on couch co-op, man, was like some of the funnest times I think I've ever had as a human. Those were so good times, man. Bring back couch co-op. Like online doing it. The online is fun because you meet new people, but there's a difference when it's all right here. Cause I'm telling you, them Halo days, like playing Juggernauts, right here, four screens. Listen, nothing like it, man. Nothing like it. So I wasn't out here playing with casuals or trying to mac on someone's granny over Wii bowling. But you probably would back on somebody's granny. J Big says, I think I only played Wii Sports like 2 or 3 times. JB said, I like Wii Play more than Wii Sports. Yeah, Wii Play was good too. To me, like, you know what? That's another game, like, you would have thought, like, that would have probably have made it to Switch 1. Irish Fan 71 says, I travel a lot and stay in hotels sometimes, 1 to 3 weeks. So portably is very important to me. Wagging that huge PS5 was a pay. Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? Stan, that's kind of hard, man. I think if you like that big screen experience, man, yeah, the gaming laptop was probably your way to go. But I will say that Lenovo, oh boy, look good. If you got good internet, sure. If I travel like that, man, I would be tempted to get like Starlink internet if I was traveling like that. Jay Biggs is my favorite games. Oh my bad. My favorite game was Galaxy, Resident Evil 4. Yeah, Resident Evil 4, boy. Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube was something special. Scarface, Godfather, Call of Duty, uh, Ward of uh, Ward of Worlds, Conduit. Oh, I forgot about the Conduit. That was a good game too. Mad World was so good. Red Steel, another good one, man. Star Force, Unleashed, yeah, that was another good one too. I had to buy it on the Switch. PC is closed. Quake. Tell your daughter I am sorry, but we here at PC are closed to console players. Jay Big says I gave it a C. I didn't pay attention to too much other than Indiana Jones and He Man. No, well, I was looking at like the whole weekend, because Batman looked good. He Man was a surprise. Indiana Jones, I gotta wait to see how whatever I like. Um, because if we talk about games, we got to get to a portion where we kind of talk about how these Switch 2 games were running at Gamescom, and we got to talk about Elden Ring, because Elden Ring did not. It still didn't look good enough for me to say, okay, I'm gonna pay money when I know I could play it probably on my Legion Go and get a better experience. Then I'm not picking it up on the Switch. They're going to show me something else different. What I seen, no matter how good people might convince themselves to look, I was like, no, man, it's not a set, and it's a download. No, Elden Ring would not get bought. Sorry, no, would not get bought. I will pass on Elden Ring. I would play that thing somewhere else. No way. I went for what I saw. I was like, no, You should like. I'm sorry to switch gear, but you know what? They should have a tails whoop for bringing that game to Gamescom in that state. Like they had to play it themselves. Like, man, it's not good. What we doing? I would have preferred. They said, you know what? we're going to delay this game into 2026. Fine. Get it right. But yeah, they shouldn't have brought that up. Now I'm glad that Final Fantasy looked really, really good. I'm glad it's running at 40 frames per second. Definitely all right. Probably gonna pick that up. But the question is gonna be like, do I pick it up digitally? Because I'm not picking up. Listen, I am definitely boycotting all game key cards. I think I bought one. I bought one game key card because it was launch night and it was. I got caught into the hype of just having Street Fighter 6 right there at launch. But I have not bought another one. I'm not like game key card. No, I'm not buying it. Mortal Kombat. You got my money. I'm picking that one up. Even if I gotta wait. Even I gotta wait. 6% gave Gamescom a straight F. Yeah, I told my. But 6% gave it a A. So yeah, 39% gave it a B. 50% gave it a C. Yeah, if I had to grade the whole weekend, I'm giving the whole weekend a B. I was definitely pleased. Irish Fan 71 says, always enjoy the chat. 4 a.m. comes soon. So I am out. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Good night, people. Man, listen, where my sound effects at? My brother, give him some applause. I know how it is waking up at 4 in the morning. Shoot, 6 in the morning come real quick. I'd be like, shh, I had to get up and be with these kids. But so yeah, so I understand my brother. Good night. Have a good one. Um, man, we'll set something up for this weekend. Let's see. Jay Big says, I am surprised that NES Remix 1 and 2 never made it to Switch. Yeah, you know what? You're correct. Another, maybe, yeah, another surprise. Because I think that that concept would have worked wonders for them. Now, I think it might have sold them a couple million easy, but what is the possibility? This is another question we should ask the chat. What is the possibility of Nintendo Switch Online offering DS and 3DS games? Would Nintendo have to come up with a new gimmick to make that happen? Could Nintendo have a portable screen that fits over the top, which would be dope? Giving yourself a clamshell. Ooh, would you be up for it? I don't know, man. The hater says PC portables and a dock is probably best for a fan, especially on planes. Yeah, because you just need that room and such. Most hotels have TV and portable monitors are cheap, small enough to bring with you. Yeah, you make a good point there. And they're cheap enough, and those portable monitors have the screen fidelity that I think and that will probably give you more bang for your buck. But it all depends if you need that productivity. It comes down to gaming being easy with a handheld and workflow being more cumbersome. Gaming on a laptop portable is just a pain. It's just a pain. Yeah, you know what? I never was a big gamer on my PC, and so I'm not my PC, my laptop. So I just got out of it. It's like, all right, every now and then I was able to do like um, I just play my PS5 on my laptop, and I thought that was pretty dope. But it was just like to get it all set up was like it just took too long. I get tired of that. PS Godson, what's going on, sir? Welcome to the chat. By your comment tonight, you just entered yourself to be able to win a free Nintendo eShop card. PS Godson, I love that name though. Uh oh, it switched the whole name on it. There we go. He said the PS Master Race has arrived. We were told a battle is to take place. Jay Big says, I meant Batman Lego movie. Yeah, that Batman game looks really, really good. Definitely a day one pickup. JB says none of the DS or 3DS games I would want to play do not require the second screen. Okay, gotcha. Hey PC, how's it going, young lady? I'm gonna get you on the board too while I'm thinking about it. I think Miss Fanta Katrina, you've won quite a few times this year. Got you on the board. Um, GT says it Switch 2 brought out a screen that connected it to one port and release all the 3DS Fire Emblem games day one by son. It's a day one by son. Um, Absolutely. Listen, because like I like Mario Land to me was like, oh, that's one of my favorite games, and but I want that 3D effect though. Like that's when I kept my 3DS man. Cause that 3D effect man is different. It's a different experience. All right, good people. Listen, we've been chit chatting for a grip. Let's get into some of these news items. As soon as I find my screen to switch it over. All right, maybe that's it. All right, look, if I can get myself on this on the screen. All right, there we go. There we go. I, I hope this works. If I have some issues, I might get off of there and switch out these iPads. But everybody, their mama is once again they rumor mills about new directs is coming, and you know what? The big rumor now is that Switch Force is saying, "Hey, September the 12th, that's the date." Um, we always get to this situation. We're like, you know what? It seems logical that Nintendo would have a direct in September. They got a lot of stuff to announce, and I don't think they can get through the rest of this year without announcing some of these things. So, however, um, I think we all can agree that a Nintendo Direct is coming, probably sooner than later. My main question will always be, what can they show? I just don't know. They can give us some release dates, but what else out there that can be shown? Will Call of Duty be announced for Switch 2 in 2025? That's a big question for me. I think out of any other possible game to be launched on the Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch 2 this year, is that contract that was highly taught about and highly brought up in the Activision acquisition case for Xbox, that Nintendo's going to have a 10-year day and date. Do we get that game, and does that game run? Biggest thing with Nintendo besides game key cards this year is game performance. Like again, we get this age, we're like, game performance. Some games run absolutely good, totally happy with the experience. But then some games you look at, you like, man, like looking at Elden Ring, man, that looked terrible. I was like, no, I don't. You can't dress it up. Listen, and I'm a Nintendo fan. I root for the company. I support it. However, Elden Ring did not look good. Borderlands 4, to me, did not look good for a game you're gonna ask for $70 for. You can't tell me you saw that Elden Ring footage. Was like, man, listen, I'm going to pay $70 for this game. You can't say that, and you got to be honest. You know what? No way. There's no way. That game looked terrible. And that's the issue. I believe Bandai Namco did more harm than good by showing up at Gamescom. They should have just said, "Hey, you know what? No, this ain't it. We ain't ready." And it's okay. Jay Big says, Metal Gear Delta was good frame rates. Yeah, you know what? I just hope that game comes to somebody's portable system. Because to me, like, if that game didn't come to the Switch too, I'm really looking like, man, because I am a huge Metal Gear fan, and I really would like that game to be played in portable mode. To me, that's a portable game that I want to play. It's like Resident Evil 5, like Resident Evil Requiem. Like, there's no way if it came to Switch, I wouldn't buy it on the Switch. I want to play that game in a very dark room on a very nice high end OLED TV, and I want to be scared. Yes, that's how I want to play it. I don't want to play it handheld. It's no excitement to play it in handheld mode. None. Steve said, "Don't get yourself all hyped up for COD on Switch 2 this year. It ain't happening." Ooh-wee. I think you know what? Once again, if if they release this thing hypothetically, if they release Black Ops 3, it would sell. It would sell. Long thing they got to do, make that sure that game runs efficiently. Don't like fans of the handheld and of Nintendo would not care. That is 3 and not the latest and greatest. That game still would, just like people don't care that they've bought Cyberpunk and they're rebuying that thing on the Switch too because it runs good. It's a good handheld experience. So that's why, like, man, I just don't understand some of these companies and some of the decisions that they are making because if they make the right decisions, man, listen, they would make money. Like, I don't know who their focus group is. Like, who are you talking to? 'Cause to me, that's a win-win. But you know what? You might be right, Steve. But that is what, like, to me, when we look at this direct, it's like, what would they have to offer besides release dates? That's to me, those are the big questions. What are you going to show me, Nintendo, besides release dates? What other ports that you're going to plan to bring over? Your Xbox connection can't just only be that we get Indiana Jones and maybe Starfield. I mean, that is when we think of Xbox connection. Like, I don't think nobody was like, you know what, maybe Indiana Jones, but nobody was like, oh, you know what, man, shoot, Starfield. Can't wait to have that thing on the Switch too. No, to me, Starfield is to me. I look at it just like I look at No Man's Sky. Like, oh, okay, it's okay. Quag says, Clear Obscura Expedition 33 deserves a Switch 2 port. That would be exciting. You all right? Right. Ding. That would be it. That would be the excellent direct. They announced that. They announced Doom. Oh yeah. For Horizon 5. Oh yeah. See, if they announce those 3 games, okay, listen. The direct is treading right off the back with a C. We just saw 3 games. You like, all right, man, listen, oh yeah, I'm getting them games all day one. GT says, Fire Emblem is what I need them to show. I bought myself a Switch for Fire Emblem, Splatoon, Pokemon, Metroid. Anything else won't be bought. Nintendo must hate me as a consumer. Oh man, listen. A small side note. I wasn't really sold on Pokemon ZA, but after watching gameplay this week of their month, I was like, "Oh man, I'm sold. I'm gonna pick this game up." I was not like, you know what? But no, I probably will pick Pokemon up. I was impressed. I was like, "Oh man, that looked quite fun." And I'm all about fun. So I was like, "All right, Pokemon, you might get picked up this year." Yeah, I think yeah, listen. Okay, so they also could announce, a release date for Splatoon that probably won't be this year. If it is, that'll be dope. I'm with that. Listen, don't get me. I'm not against not having Splatoon this year. But if they did Splatoon, they already got Pokemon lined up. Metroid would be great. They got Kirby Air Ride. Listen, we didn't talk about that either. Like, did anybody really enjoy that direct? I mean, Kirby Air Ride looks fun, but man, it's like I don't know. I'm not sold yet on Kirby Air Ride. I mean, I have to maybe Geeky will pick it up, and then because it's pink, and then I'm gonna watch Geeky play it, and then if I like it, then we on like that. I'm putting it on Geeky shoulders to get it. Jay Big says, Call of Duty, Gears of War Reloaded, Master Chief Collection, and Resident Evil remakes to start. Okay, so Jay Biggs. And matter of fact, go for anybody else in the chat, man. Y'all think this next direct gonna be this huge? That's huge. That's a huge. That if what if they start off with Call of Duty? And what was that? They just started off with Xbox and started just dropping bombs and gave you like a December date for Metro Prime 4, but they say we're releasing Metro Prime 2 Shadow Drop today with online multiplayer. New Cap asks a very good question. Are you getting NBA 2K26 on the Switch too? As of today, I'm gonna say yes, but I'm really, really waiting on a couple things. One, I need to see this game in motion, and I have not. I want it to run at 60 frames per second, and if it does not run at 60 frames per second, I probably would not pick it up on the Switch. As much as I would love to. That's the point. Like I'm prepared. I make sure I got enough space available. I really would like to um, pick that game up day one. Um, but yeah, man, new cap. That's the one thing. That's the one thing. It has to run at 60 frames per second. Because I can get that game running. It's gonna run 60 frames per second on the Steam Deck. And as much because I want to I like having Madden, love having Madden on the go. Oh man, you know what? I can play Madden in school. My kids working. I got the volume down. I didn't get all my little work set up. They working, watching them work. I can get in a quick quarter of Madden. The kids don't even know. I'll be like, yep, Do you need some help? All right, pause. They don't know what's going on. Let me get new cap on the board. Catch on the board, my friend. Let's see. Uh-oh. That's the only thing about when you use some of these third party, it's so quick. They just, they just trying to get you to upgrade or whatever. All right, let me get off of this here. Come back to here. Jay Big says, I would love for them to bring Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and 3. Should be on Switch 1. Ooh-wee. No, I think that this one here is gonna be so Switch Too heavy. It better be Switch too heavy. How about that? David, I should have been playing Doom Dark Ages since launch. I know, right? I know. Breaking Bad, what's going on, sir? I'll get you on the board in a minute. The hater says I play Pokemon. I haven't since I haven't seen any Pokemon ZA footage, but I play Pokemon every time a new one releases. I have more of a fondness for Nintendo's portables than home consoles. I'm not a big I'm not a big Pokemon guy, but however, um, Arceus was pretty good. I just wish I would have stuck around and finished it. So I need a video of gaming dad walking into GameStop and asking for that new Nintendo game. Let me get that throat goat air riders. You know, throat goat. The pink little thing in the back of your throat. I'm not messing with you no more. J Big says, I could care less about Kirby games. Plus, the direct was subtitled. I would have watched it. There was English voiceovers. Ah, man, you right, man. You right. Steve asked a good question. He said, "What if 2K was 40 frames per second?" Ooh, Steve. It depends. It would. I might. That might persuade me. It's got to just run right. 'Cause like there's a huge difference from playing NBA 2K25 on the original Switch at 30 frames per second compared to playing it on the Steam Deck at 60. Huge difference. Humongous difference. Matter of fact, playing it on the Steam Deck, man, it's like playing it on any other console. Ain't no graphic letdown nowhere. Great gameplay and great experience. And to me, at the end of the day, that's all I want. When I'm playing the game, I don't care about nothing else. As long as I'm playing the game and it runs smooth, I am great. So at 40 frames per second, you just might get it. P.S. Godson says Shimu 3 on Switch 2 and hopefully 1 and 2. I think that's probably a legit request that's probably going to get answered. I think all them games are coming in some form or fashion. My appeal to anybody that's bringing games out to the system is just that, man, put out a quality product. Put forth the effort in it to make sure them games run right. Like, you know what? Like, you can tell that Square Enix really put some work in to get Final Fantasy running and optimized to be shown at Gamescom. Like, they took the assignment seriously. Bandai Namco did not, because that game looked horrible. I don't care. Listen, I don't care how some people kind of justify it and say, "Oh, it runs pretty good." No, it does. It still doesn't. I don't care how good it is. No, 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 no. Elden Ring would get a Elden Ring pass until they fix that bad boy. Quay says Kirby is gray/green to me. My first Kirby was on the original Game Boy. Well, you took it way back. 60 frames or nothing for me. I can't do these stop motion frames like the rest of you. I know, man. I know. I'm sorry. Us peasants with our CRT TVs. Oh man, Breaking Bad. Oh, CMG just popped on the scene. What's going on, CMG? Let me get you on the board too. All right, let's go. I got Breaking Bad, 8A1, CMG, in the place to be, chilling in Hollis, Queens. CMG2, he's a member of the channel. Appreciate you, my brother. All right. He said, "What up, chat? Oh, I'm late. That's all right, man. You made it, my friend." That farmist. All right. So CMG, we just you walked in, man. We're kind of talking about, man, what could Nintendo really show at this direct that we already don't know. I would like a release date also for Marvel Cosmic, um, that beat 'em up fighting game. I want a release date for that game too. I think that game is this year. It's another game that will get picked up. It's another beat 'em up. It's a lot of beat 'em up games, but they all, they got that nostalgia feeling that I want to have. He said most CRT TVs, at least monitors, were 60 to 85 hertz, so consistent 60 frame gaming in the 90s. Don't know about those TVs though. Classic times, man. Let's see. But yeah, you know what? I really think this direct could be. I don't want to put it and say it's going to be great because Nintendo always. I thought this last direct was going to be something special, and it came out to be a really close to a fat turd. But um, but I think this could be huge because certain games, even though some games they're going to show are really old ports, but I'm happy to have on the go. Like Red Dead 2 on the go should be like a great experience. I think if they come out and they go Red Dead and they go GTA 4 or GTA 5 portable mode, oh man, listen, it's going to what it's going to be great times. Because people are going to I'm telling you, people are going to rebuy and redip into that GTA. People are going to redip into that what you call that to Red Dead. Absolutely. You know what? You know who I feel sorry for though? I really feel sorry for Ubisoft because I think if looking at Star Wars and looking at the footage they showed for Star Wars and other games, like, nope, I'm not picking you up either. your your game key card, and then you don't look that good. So I mean, I can probably get that game at a cheaper experience, probably a better looking experience on something else. And I hate that I'm making them decisions already for Nintendo within the first, 3 months. I'm looking like, oh, sorry, Star Wars. I want to support you. I want you to be there. But you know what? You got to put forth a little bit more effort to make sure that game runs on these systems. If not, don't bring them. Ubisoft, like they would have done. That's something right. Not totally different company, but they would have done better bringing an efficient copy of Assassin's Creed at launch than to have Star Wars be their first game. That's another game. Like, hey, you know what? These games, if they don't run right, you know what? You like Nintendo. It's like I don't know if Nintendo has um, really thought this process out about like who should have got dev kits. Um, and better yet, if I'm Nintendo, I'm working with companies that got key games that I know for sure that they need to run efficient, and then help them get those games to that point where they look efficient on their system. To me, that's a smart business move. Very smart business move. Says CMG play games on your PC. Sonic Knuckle Tales is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I get on board in a second. But he's here with the scripture of the night, comes out of Psalms 119, verse 165. He said, those who love your instructions have great peace and do not stumble. Man, I got a young lady she was not my student, but her baby father was my student in my class. And so she's going through some things in her life. They kind of parted ways, but they young and they dumb, this that kind of thing. And I was just talking to her about the exact same thing about, what, listen, you gotta be looking at your own life and the things that you're doing and ask yourself, do these things line up with what God has for me? If they don't line up, then you gotta change and go a different direction. You gotta get back into you gotta fall back in love with your first love, which is God, and really get back to his rules and his precepts so you could be successful, so you can stop stumbling. Like they stumbling around this earth and they don't understand why. They want to blame everybody but themselves. It's like look at your actions. What have you been doing? And then they got an excuse for everything. Like, what? I gave clear instructions for this girl to do today. I said, you need to do A, B, and C, D. And then when I talked to her around 4 o'clock today, I'm like, what didn't you do? I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Listen, you know what? I get really tired of that. Stop giving me excuses. If you know these things got to be done, get them done. And you wonder why you don't get no money. Okay, sorry. Get off on a little tangent. But thank you, my brother, for the scripture of the day. You want to make sure that you're in a position where you are following his instructions so you don't stumble. Easy peasy. The hater says that Star Wars game is bad. Don't buy it, period. The main character has a butt chin and her main weapon is sneaking. Oh, just what you think of when playing Star Wars game hiding. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. That is terrible. Oh man, yeah, I don't want this to be like, don't get me wrong. Metal I like Metal Gear. And, a lot of Metal Gear was like sneaking around, being deceptive, not taking care of enemies on the slide, not getting caught. I like that kind of gameplay, but GT's right again. I don't think of sneaking when I'm playing Star Wars. Sonic Test says, I can't let GT be the only one with multiple entries on the wheel. Geeky sneak. I think Geeky sent her mom to try to beat me today, but it ain't gonna happen. Geeky is currently locked up like Akon for stealing them toys out of them Happy Meals. Like the Weird Bars video I posted stole a Happy Meal toy. Caught a felony. Oh my goodness. Geeky, please respond to this nonsense. Does anyone have a favorite retro systems episode? Oh man, listen. Probably my favorite. No, that's Family Guy. System episode. Oh man, it's hard because there's so many of them. I don't listen. I don't have one off the top of my head. That's a hard. You caught me off guard with that one. Let's go. Let's see. Did I get everybody on the board? Let me see. I think I was missing Sonic Knuckle Tails. Sonic Knuckles. All right. And let me get I'm put Sonic 2. All right, my brother got you on the board. GT needs a joke of the day. All right. Let's see. Uh-oh. All right, so we're gonna switch gears. At the end of the day, when it comes down to the Nintendo Direct, I think they have the potential to really get this negative narrative off their back. But the question is going to be probably for a nice long while is this question: how does these games run? Can I get a better experience somewhere else? And to me, if I am Nintendo, I am helping other developers of key games that they know is going to sell their systems. I need to get them on board, make sure they have a full understanding so that game runs efficiently on their system. I'm just saying. All right, couple about this real quick. Let's get to another one. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Developers reportedly still struggling to get Switch 2 dev kits. Now, I wonder, is Nintendo doing this to kind of slow down the a lot of they had a lot of terrible games on the Switch One, a lot of shovelware, and I wonder if this is their reasonings. But I just wonder, like why AAA game? Why this been such a hold held back on that system? I don't know. It says host John Linneman mentioned speaking to a number of developers at Gamescom 2025 who said that while they were interested in developing for the Switch 2, they can't get the hardware, and many were told to ship games for Switch 1 and rely on backwards compatibility. Hmm. See, and I can probably um, agree that that's probably happening because they know they still got a market to kind of feed, and they want everybody to kind of just abruptly jump ship when they got 150 million, users of the Switch One. But however, I just think like, what, this is not. I don't think this decision is a good move. This is one of them things where I'm struggling to agree with Nintendo's thought process because I think this can have a bad. This could be bad for them long term. Quay says Maggie makes three is to do it her for her poster at a Homer station. Since just chilling, man, been working, came from a high school basketball game outside. Let's see. So yeah, I don't know what Nintendo's decision when it comes down to holding back. I just tell you, I think this gonna backfire on them. I think they can, if they have good games to kind of like get through this little storm, they'll be all right. But they gotta have some good games that run good. The issue is some of these games that they got that's not, really running good. I mean, that's gonna be a major issue. Pokemon Legends ZA pre-orders hit 28,000 units on Amazon Japan. Yeah, that game is. After watching that multiplayer, I was very impressed. I was like, okay, this is gonna be something what I can definitely dig my teeth into. P.S. Gonson said, I think it's to slow down the piracy, but I agree that shovelware is crazy on Switch. It has about 11,000 games. Yeah, that's crazy. That yeah, right. Like, and you know what? I want to know. I would like to really look at those sales. So you got to think about it, man. If you can sell 1,000 games, if you just like a developer by yourself, and you can sell 1,000 your games for like at $500, at not say 1,000, say but let's say if you sold, I don't know, if you sold 50,000 games at $5, well that's $250,000. And it's a good chance you can sell at 50,000 games when you got 150 million people to sell to. It's a good chance, man. Your odds are really good to kind of get a piece of game in there. But if you had a real good game and a little advertising, you know what? You might make you some money. But I'll tell you this much that to me, I mean, you got to look at some of these key titles and these key developers, and you got to get them dev kits. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection adds Mythology Sub Zero and Special Forces and more. Listen, I tell you this much here, man. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you might not be a fan. I'm a fan. To be honest, I'm a big fan. I mean, I love three, but man, Mortal Kombat 2 and Trilogy probably are like my favorites. Mortal Kombat 4 was okay, but Trilogy and 2 was like super, super good. So for me. Um I can't wait. Ultimate was good too. But three? I mean, but two though, two was like it was at its best. Competitive. Yeah, I wonder if Nintendo gonna have that mode to switch it from blood and non-blood on two. But once again, when we talk about games that are like, okay, I'm definitely going to buy this game physically. I don't care if it comes out later, but I'm picking this game up on physical, no doubt. The issue with Switch 2 is that it's boring. Games are releasing too slow. The third party games are old compared to the other consoles and run like trash compared to other consoles. Man, as much as I don't want to agree, I can see that sentiment more and more each day. That's why I'm hoping, like, hey, you know what? Um, Donkey Kong is a good game. You know what? But it's still not that killer game. That's why the more and more that this drags on, we can kind of it goes back to some comments people made like, "Hey man, is this the Wii U era?" And it's kind of looking that way. The Wii U started off really hot. You know what? And then without a true Mario game to launch with the system within that first 6 months, I mean, think about it. Like the Switch had some absolute bangers that first 6 months. You had Mario, Mario Kart, Zelda. You had the trifactor. You did, and then you direct the showed off. They showed off Smash Brothers within that 6 months. I mean, you had and Metroid. This show like this is the promise. That's why this direct has to be like that deal. It has to be for Nintendo. Like this is like to me, this is crucial for them, especially going into a holiday season. The holiday season is still going to sell because Pokemon sells, Mario Kart sells. I believe Metroid Prime will sell, but is that enough? I don't know. It's enough for most Nintendo fans because you're gonna have Kirby. Kirby's gonna sell. Um, Silk Song gonna sell, but it's free to play if you got an Xbox. So you know what? He has a valid point at this stage in the game. When you when you are appealing to gamers, it is boring. I think when you're appealing to that good old golden age of 4, 5, 6, and 7, they don't care. That's why regular Switches still sell, and those who got the money will buy their kids a Switch too, because you know what, the latest and greatest is gonna come out for Christmas, and you know what, they're gonna be good Santa Clauses and buy these for their kids. But yeah, I have to agree, it is quite boring right now. Even though I'm excited about some games that come like Silk Songs. It's next week. You know what? Matter of fact, later on this week, sure, I got Shinobi, and Shinobi looks good. I think it's gonna get caught up in the sauce, but you know what? I pre-ordered it. Good comment though. GT said, "Don't get me wrong. With the upgraded Zelda game, Switch 2 has stuff to play. However, Remasters and upgrades are supposed to be fillers, not the main thing you buy a console for. Yeah, facts. You're right. You right. And it kind of goes back to Irish fan 71 when he said earlier, it's like, like there isn't a key some key marquee games for me to say you get a Switch 2 for this. Now Donkey Kong was that game. So like for instance, I have a good friend of mine and she always referenced me when it comes to gaming. She had a son who loves Nintendo, loves the Switch. And she bought a Switch 2 at launch. I said, I'm not convinced. I said, you probably should get one because of the fact that, what, hey, it might go up in price. And your son might not want one now, but he'll probably eventually will. And sure enough, he wasn't that impressed with Mario Kart. So he was like, I'll just I play my regular Mario Kart. I'm good. She was like, she was about to take it back. I said, no, don't take it back because some other things were coming. As soon as Donkey Kong hit, then he was like, oh, mom, I gotta have Donkey Kong. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. The appeal, Donkey Kong was so appealing. He was like, oh my goodness, it looks just like the movie. So what she already had the system already. She was good. All she had to buy Donkey Kong. That's it. So Nintendo doesn't have too many of those games prepared and ready to go. So like this direct needs to happen sooner than later. This direct, like I can believe the fact that it would be the second week in September because it can't go farther than that because they have too much to announce in too little time. I wholeheartedly believe that what Switch Force is saying could absolutely be true because they can have that direct later in the day and then it transforms and that like if they have it later in the day here in the States on the 12th, which would typically be Saturday the 13th over in Japan, which would be um, Mario's anniversary. So I can see how that can tie in. I don't know what Nintendo could do. To me, if Nintendo really wanted to be ballsy, they'll say, "Hey, you know what? You can buy Super Mario Galaxy 2 right now, today, or you know what? Have some form of remaster, just like they did Metro Prime remaster. They can drop that bad boy today, $40. It would sell, and promise a physical version. People would double dip. Absolutely, people would double dip, and that will be a really really dope anniversary gift, and people would buy it. It would solve a lot of their issues that they have right now. Because think about it like this here: those 4, 5, 6 years old, shoot, matter of fact, those 12, 13, 14, 15-year olds have never played Mario Galaxy 2 because it was on the Wii. And to drop that, it would ignite a flame. It would, because you have all those people that played it on the Wii, and it would just transpire right on. It would set it ablaze. It will be a huge difference. Think about it. If you can market Mario in some form or fashion this Christmas, right along with a new Pokemon, a new Metroid, then you hit on all cylinders. But they have to do that. GT says, I don't think the majority bought a Switch 2 for Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, or to play Zelda's Link Stank Breath at 60 frames. 8 years after release. Agreed. I think people bought the Switch 2, like myself, with the promise of what is to come. Like, yeah, was I excited to see Mario Kart? Yeah. Was I happy to play it? Yeah. But I didn't buy the system for that. I bought the system because I said Madden was coming. And I was like, oh, buddy. Oh, yeah. That I know, for sure, I knew Mario was coming. I bought it also because, like, okay, this is how I want to play Breath of the Wild. It was reasons why I bought the system. Cyberpunk was another reason why I bought the system. I was like, okay, I'll dig this here. I bought it for the hope that, hey, we will get Silk Song sooner than later on this system. And I'm going to enjoy playing Silk Song on the system. So, yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of these older ports, even though I'm glad to have them, but so many of them it's hurting the system. Like, you know what? Like, I was, I want some new experiences, and even like, okay, like Pokemon ZA. Okay, that's a new experience. Okay, good. I'm with that. Boom. Metroid Prime 4. Boom. Okay, good. But everything else is like, you know what? These gonna be ports unless we mess around and get a Call of Duty day in day one. I like the fact that we get Indiana Jones, but gotta see how it runs. So what do you do? You know, let's see. Let me do this here. Boom, boom. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Another game that I saw that I was not too happy with, especially for their Switch 2 version of it, was Borderlands, and I hope they fix some things. Because at first, when they first started showing the video, I was like, "Oh man, this looks pretty good," and then we kept on playing it, and then we started to get comments like this here. Let me cut GT's comment off. Okay, this is from Epic NNG over on Twitter. It says, "Okay, I just put it bluntly. Borderlands 4 on the Switch 2 could barely run at 30 frames per second with four enemies on screen in docked mode. It had horrendous input delay, and the render resolution was seemingly turned all the way down." Okay, this is my issue. You know this game run like this here. Delay it. Just delay it. Don't bring it to this and not be a worthy port. If you're not going to put the financial means and time behind the game, don't do it. Don't even put it. Don't even bring it to the system. I like who is glad? Like I'm not glad that. I mean, okay, let's take it back to Madden. Right, Madden doesn't run at 60 frames, but you know if you play Madden, you're like, all right, and you've seen other people play Madden, you know it's an enjoyable experience on Switch. I don't care who's. I mean, it runs good enough. Would I like for that game to run at 60? Absolutely, and I believe it's like GT said last week. Um, this next go around, next Madden 2027, it's gonna be 60 frames on the Switch. It's gonna be. They're gonna figure it out. That game is gonna run at 60 frames per second. That next go around, I just hope college football comes right along with it. So you know, listen, I'm happy. This is year one of the Switch too. I just like I just hope another game that I would have liked to support, but it's on a game key card and it run like trash. It's like, man, you're not getting my money. I will show you my this is the generation where I have to show companies with my wallet who I'm going to support. Like your game has to run. I played the Shinobi demo. I was like thoroughly impressed. I was like, all right, bet I'm buying this game digitally. Even though I'm probably gonna figure out some way to get it physically, but I'm on double dip because I enjoyed what I played. Ukulele. You know, rumor has it, and I'm saying rumor because it's not official, that the whole game's on a 64 gig cartridge and it's $50. I'm probably gonna support that just because it's on a cartridge. And the whole thing is there. They were like, look, we're gonna bite the bullet. This smaller studio gonna bite the bullet and pay the $17 to put it on a 64 big card so they can have it in full for the consumer and the collector. I'm with that. You'll get my money. But Borderlands, man, I just I don't know, man. Don't know what y'all doing, but when they fix it, maybe because once again, it's a download. I don't think some of these companies didn't like they didn't look at the Nintendo system what they're offering and saying, "Hey, how do I make this happen?" You know what? To get a lot of these games that you want to have, you gotta have the space for it. And I want to get this on the cartridge where I don't gotta be using up a lot of my space. That's huge. That's a huge issue for me. All right, let's see. Final Fantasy VII Remake integrate impresses on the Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, if you have not watched any of this video for this game, um, you are missing out. Definitely gonna pick up. I think the only issue that somebody put out some issues they had with Cloud's hair at a particular scene, but that was it though. Like it was definitely like, hey, this is definitely worth getting into. So, um, another thing I look at and say, you know what, without a shadow of a doubt, this game is gonna get picked up. Bought to steal the win from Geeky and her mama. They ain't catching me. Ah. To watch Final Fantasy to be a game key card. Yeah, that and listen, and that is the situation you run into. So let me tell you, where I'm at on that. I'm like 50-50. And so you got to look at it from this standpoint. So you say, all right, it's probably more likely that I'll still have access to this game if I bought it on PC. I'm probably gonna get a better experience. I know eventually I'm gonna upgrade my PC handheld eventually. I'm probably gonna get some form of Steam Deck 2 whenever it decides to show its head. And it might be a better experience. It's one of the things like Nintendo might lose out because of the game key card. Now, if this game was like all on a card, I'll be all about that. Better yet, if they had it on a card and even charged me a tad bit more, I would probably support that more than I would support it being somewhere else. They need to give consumers an option of buying a game physically with the whole game on the cart. Jesus, it's another game I'll buy on the Switch just to have a physical edition of the game in my house since my other copies are digital. But I'm not buying a key card of this. Yeah, you're right. You are absolutely 100% correct. That's the difference. If I gotta buy it digitally, and I know I can get it digitally on PC, it's probably the better bet, the safer bet that I'll still have access to that game whenever I want to for the foreseeable generational future of consoles. You can't, you gotta, you look at games that way. It's like, look, I'm going go on my Steam library and look what I want to play. If I want to play it, I can play it. The only thing about the Steam library though is, stuff can get lost in transit. But you're right. If this a game key card, Square Enix, buddy, I hope you guys are waiting to announce because if it's not on a card, buddy, I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna get it. I just don't see the purpose. It's not something. Okay, day one I gotta have it. Nope. Mm-mm. Now listen. Now, matter of fact, look, I bought two game key cards this year. I did buy Street Fighter, and I bought Madden. I bought Madden digitally. I didn't buy a key card. I just bought it digitally because I was like, listen, it don't make no sense to have a game key card of a box that's not gonna have any value when I trade it back in. So I might as well buy it digitally. So, and I'm probably going to do 2K the same way because I'm a basketball guy. I buy it every year. I've been buying it on Steam. Ain't no bigger to me. You're right, and I hope Nintendo scans a lot of these different podcasts, and also they pay attention to other people and what other people are saying on some of these fan boards. Is like, look, man, I'm a collector. I want the game on a cartridge. You know what? Find out, make it happen. Listen, if they would poll people and say, "Hey, would you pay more money for a game if it was on a game key on a card?" Absolutely. If they could figure out some way to sell a 128 gigabyte card and have a lot of these games on there, and they charge the extra $20, I would probably pay for that just to have it physically. I would probably absolutely pay that extra premium. Pay that. See, then it's worth it. If there are franchises that I want to invest in, oh yeah, absolutely. Just give me the option. Even if I gotta buy, listen, even if I have to order it, Nintendo. Even if I gotta say, all right, I really want this game, but the only way I can be able to get it, I have to order it straight from Nintendo. Fine, no problem at all. I would order it straight from Nintendo. The whole game on cartridge, yeah, because I'm a collector. I like to collect myself. Let's keep it. I like to have the game on cartridge. I don't want nothing else like that. Cool breezy, taking it easy for Sheezy, my brother from another mother. Welcome. Let me get Cool Breeze on board. All right, got you on the board, Cool Breezy. Yeah, so we just right, Cool Breeze. We just kind of jumped in. We're just going back and forth. Some things people noticed at Gamescom. We talked about the Nintendo Direct and what Nintendo could really show to kind of make this and what they need to do. What needs to happen with this show to really push it over that next hump and maybe kill some of the naysayers. And then at Games Key Card is always going to be a big topic, a big issue because we don't want them no more. No, listen, I have I've put my foot in the sand. If to me, if the game can be bought somewhere else, as much as I would love to have Red Dead um on the go, but it's probably way cheaper and way better to have it buy it on Steam. Kraken Shell 5, what's going on, sir? Happy Monday to you too, my brother. I'll get you on the board in a hot second. Yeah, so we talked about some of the performances of some of the games that showed the game concourse. Elden Ring, like trash, would not get my money. Game Geek Card. You're gonna have a game that look like trash, and then you're gonna force me to download the whole game, the whole piece of trash onto my system? No. Mm-mm. Nope. I'll pass. This next story could be huge because, to be honest, I wouldn't care if we got Horizon 5 on the Switch instead of getting 6. I wouldn't care because Horizon 5 is good. And then support. I always probably support that. But if it's a game key card, no, man, they're gonna have to Nintendo's gonna have to figure this one out quickly, quickly, because buddy, it's crazy. To me, games can get away. To me, like one thing I did appreciate with the Switch, sometimes we would get a game and they'll say, hey, the majority, like the single player is on the cartridge, but the online you have to download. All right, fine. They can go back to that. They can go back to. Home isn't set up yet. To get started, download the Google Home app on I ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing to Google. I need to unplug that thing. You probably listen to all of my stuff. However, um, I can dig that. This split it up. Just give me the bulk of the game or the single player experience of the game. Have it on the cartridge. You know what? If I gotta have 64 gigs on the cartridge, and I might have to download an extra 10. Well, that's still different because it's still saving my hard drive space tremendously. I don't know why they can't go back to that. All right, let me get Kraken Shell 5 on the board real quick. All right. Boom, boom. GT says, I don't know if I pay a premium to have a physical edition of a product I'm buying, have the product I'm buying included. it's not a hostage negotiation. They are not entitled to my cash. I look at it like this here. It's like you get what you pay for. You either can eat McDonald's or no. That's a poor analogy. Um, at the end of the day, it's choice. They're not saying that you can't play the game. You can play it. You can buy the game digitally. But if you want it physically, you know what? You might have to pay a little extra premium. All right, just fine. I can see how the extra expense could be an issue if they have a if the game comes onto a, let's say for instance, 128 gigabyte card, and they can figure out somehow if they made those kind of cards. And I had to pay an extra premium to get that whole entire 100 gigabyte experience onto a card. I would do it. I would pay. No problem. I'll find. You know what? I'll eat that premium because I want it physically. Especially in the era where games are going more digital than ever before. But I get what you're saying. You know what? I mean, you'll get people to change if you start to vote with your wallet. Let's look at the poll real quick. The poll right now, I told you give Gamescom the whole weekend, not just that opening night. Get the whole weekend a score, and 4% is with a A, 46 for B, 46 for C, and 4% for F. I give it a B. I was in the B range. If I had to break the tie, it would be the B. All right. So Forza Horizon 6 could be announced in September. Rumors suggest. So there is a rumor that the next Forza Horizon is going to be based out of Japan, and so what would be a great way at a Tokyo Game Show is to announce Forza Horizon 6 with a Tokyo theme. Super smart. I think this is great. Like whoever sat down and made these decisions had a good forethought to say, "Hey, this is how we want to do it. Let's announce this game here at Tokyo Game Show, and get more Japanese players to dig into that game." Super smart, great marketing, good setup. I think it's a win for them. I wish more. I wish more video game companies sat down and had those kind of conversations, had some forethought. Like, hey, let's look at these things. You know what? I think it was smart for Xbox to tie in Silk Song with their new handheld. Just attaching that marketing to it. I think it was smart. Hey, you saying, hey, Silk Song, it comes out September 4th. You could play it on Xbox, and you know what? You could play it on our new system. It's gonna be there at the launch of it. Smart. But I'm so listen. I pulled it up anyway because I'm so happy that we finally got a release date. GT says we're not getting into a situation where I'm paying full price for a piece of plastic and the game is a bonus. Uh, yeah, I guess you can look at it that way. Okay, I'll roll with it. It's good. I'm paying for a game, including the game in my physical purchase of the game. Yeah, you know what, man. But the issue is we just in a different time, and you know what, you got to respect that. We're in a different time where medium is being offered digitally, and they're not saying that you can't play the game and not even own the game for a certain degree, but to own it physically, things are just changing. I don't like it. I'm not saying that um, I like and would like paying extra money, but I would because of the fact I like to own my own stuff. And in this day and age, ownership is, it's somehow, some way slipping out of our fingers, no matter where you live it here on Earth. But I get it. See, I disagree with your stance as charging more for a physical game is no different than removing a section of the game and selling it for DLC. I don't know if I like that analogy, but I'll continue to read. I'm paying more for something that should be included. I don't think our stance is totally different. I think the only thing that's different between your stance and mine, because I agree with you. I agree. We should go back to the days where, you know what, when games were on a cartridge and there was no updates. It's like you got what you got. If it was broke or it needed to be fixed, oh well, you had to deal with it. They had quality control. And this digital age has allowed these companies to really rig the system. And I'm not saying that I am totally in favor or agree, but however, if I had to make a choice on owning something physically, then I would probably make that choice. So no, I don't disagree with your stance. I think your stance is, you know what, you're right. It should be like I don't like DLC anyway because of that fact that hey, you have these other extra expansions. Well, you know what, that game that should have been included in the game. I don't believe companies that say, you know what, let's create an expansion. Let's this out of the blue. No, no, you had this plan and set out. This is how you're gonna make your extra bread. Um, at the expense of the consumer. So yeah, so don't get me wrong, I get it. I'm just saying that I would personally would not mind if I had to in today's market pay extra to have something physical. I want that option. It's almost like you saying, hey, you know, I want that option to play, you know, with a keyboard and mouse. I get it. Remind me when Capcom was selling Street Fighter characters that were already on disc as DLC. Hmm. They were essentially charging you to unlock parts of the game you already paid for. Agreed. Listen, I'm not saying some of these companies are, you know, money hungry scoundrels. I agree to that. But when you like something, you know, at the end of the day, we got to choose and say, hey, what would I prefer to pay for? Now we looked at earlier. We talked about earlier about hey, I wouldn't. I would love to have um, Final Fantasy on a physical disc or as some form of physical media in my house. I would love that, and so I get it. Don't I'm not disagreeing with your point. I think your points are very 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 valid. Um, but at the end of the day, I still would prefer those options. These companies should be turning tricks to get my money. You know what? You probably right, but they don't. They listen. They know they get. Listen. They got that. They got that dope, and they know it. All right. Let's see. Talk about that. I'm quickly talk about Resident Evil Requiem demo. Will probably come out before release. Oh yeah, it probably is. This is probably a no brainer. To build even more hyped for this game that's coming out really in a couple. Well, about what is it, about 6 months maybe. This is September. Yeah, about about almost 6 months. So yeah, I think so. But what I saw, the demo I saw, it looked really, 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 really good. GT says, I want my games on a physical copy of the product or I'm not buying it. I will play it through other means, morally justified. I, you know what? Mm, maybe. I don't know if I can say. I don't know. I can say. You know what? Pirating somebody's stuff is still morally justified. Uh, if there's no other option to play that game, then yes, I see that. I can see that being a benefit. But if it's other ways to play that game, then you know what? Morally, you should explore those options to play that game. If there's other means, I'm just looking at it as a supporting Nintendo. All right, I'm trying to cut down some of these. It says best of Gamescom 2025, the top 7 gadgets and games we couldn't stop playing. Let's see. Let's see what they got. This is GeForce Now. Okay, I didn't see too much of that. Man, oh man. I like what I saw. I like it. You know what? I wasn't too impressed with certain games. It still took a long time to load up. Um, I need a handheld that has that Xbox load up experience. I don't know if this shows it yet, but you know what? I think at the end of the day, man, the thing might sell pretty well. Okay, I don't care about no headphones. Um, yeah, Resident Evil, it did look scary. That monster they created that's chasing that girl through the home was definitely impressive. I bet you, no matter having one of these steering wheel systems in your house is probably super dope. But nothing I would probably buy. But Batman, buddy, whoo! I can't wait to that game. That game bet not be on that game bet not be on the game key card. Oh, that game better not be on the game key card. I'll be so pissed. Okay, that story didn't have Jack. I thought it was gonna have something. All right, I think that's about it. Good people. Before we dig into it, talked about Legends. We said Final Fantasy VII running at 40 frames per second. Monosoft recruitment post shows Xenoblade 2 with new lighting prompting speculation of a Switch 2 upgrade. Uh oh. This might be up some of you guys' alley. I never did play any of the Xenoblade games, even though I did pick up Xenoblade Chronicles X used. I probably need to dig into that one day. I have plenty to play. Don't necessarily need anything new right now. It's not even a need as a want. Monosoft is always hiring. Capcom announces Tokyo Game Show 2025 lineup. Let's see what they got. All right. So Tokyo Game Show is next month at the end of the month. I think it's like September 25th. Matter of fact, is the date. So a month from today, you'll have Tokyo Game Show where we have a ton more news to talk about. That's the reason why the 12th sounds even more promising because hey, you get your announcement out for Nintendo, and then they're gonna probably have a booth at Tokyo Game Show. And so you got Monster Hunter Outlanders. It's an iOS game. Yeah, Monster Hunter Stories 3 will be playable on Switch 2, the Xbox Series S, PS5. Monster Hunter Wild will be there. Omushia? Omusha? I tell that name every time. But it's going to be playable on PS5, Xbox Series X. Pragmata is going to be there at the show. PS5, Xbox Series. I will probably pick this game up on Xbox Series S just to have some balance, you know? Resident Evil Requiem will be there. Resident Evil Survival Unit, iOS. Street Fighter 6 will be there. On September the 24th at 7 a.m. PT, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tokyo Game Show, Capcom online special program. Get all the latest Capcom news in our pre recorded stream at part of Tokyo Game Show Online. So put that on the calendar. They got a direct comment on the 24th, the day before Gamescom. Capcom has a direct plan. All right. And I think that is I got a couple. The role Prince of Persia is coming to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 later this year. This game is pretty good to be honest. I own it on Steam. Well, I was in early access on Steam, and I didn't play a lot of it, but what I played was pretty good. But once again, these Metrovanias and experiences, they all kind of flow like the same. They give you a little bit different, but end of the day, it's still the same. Am I picking that up over Silk Song? Absolutely not. Lego Batman: The Legacy of Dark Knight it doesn't support online multiplayer or online co-op. Is this a bad thing? No, because I don't want to share my experiences. I like Batman, and I don't need a Robin in this game. Maybe for the next iteration, but I'm all right with this being a single player experience. Hollow Knight 6 song, single player. Day one buy. We talked about this earlier. Let's talk about it again. He-Man. Well, I talked about it last week. He-Man and Masters of the Universe are all ready to beat everyone up in a new game. Another game that's going to get picked up day one. Might even get it physical if I can get it on cartridge. All right, good people. Listen, that's it. No more news tonight. It would be crazy if Switch Force is absolutely correct that the Direct is on September the 12th. If he nails that one, buddy, watch out. His channel is going pew to the moon. Hold on, let me see. So if you sell a physical game without the game on it, apparently it will be bought because gamers remember when people were buying collector. I hate gamers were buying collector editions of games without an actual game in the edition, bro. Then you never made it to the end. Let's see. CMG says, I made it to the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 back in 2017. Never gotten to finish it. I still have the game. Mortal Kombat Collection, day one buy. Chronos is a day one buy. Okay. My only issue with Chronos is like, man, once again, that's another game that I necessarily don't need to have in handheld mode that I want to play on a TV, and I want it at high visual fidelity so I can get the best experience. So that's one game like, oh, I don't know yet. Even though that game is next week too. There's a bunch of games coming out next week. We probably should look at the games before we get out of here. We'll look at them next week. But NBA 2K26 day one buy. It is, especially if it is announced that one I can play it early and it's 60 frames per second. It's got to be 60 frames per second. I'm gonna be mad if it's not. Am I on the wheel 3 times? You are. I see Gorilla 2, the hater, and then you should be somewhere down here. You know what? Not so Gorilla Tactics is not on here yet. Let me go ahead and put you on there. Poop. Not Gorilla Tactics. All right, make sure. Boom, boom, boom. All right, there it is. Yep. Now you are. All right, good people. Listen, you know how we do this every Monday night. Who's up first to be the first loser of tonight? You know, you hear the sweet sounds of my boy Peter Griff.
You are out of here.
And without any further ado, let's get this wheel spinning for the winning. Who's our first loser tonight? Who's that first loser tonight? It will be, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, not Guerrilla Tactics. That's so funny. Oh, man. Last one added, first one off. All right. Keep it moving and grooving. Ladies and gentlemen, who's up next to catch the flex tonight? Let's get it in when we can. That's going to be my brother, Cool Breeze. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, what did the sheep say? What did the sheep say? Geeky. Geeky Chick is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get the wheel spinning for the winning. All right, all right. Who's up next? Catch the flex. It will be Ricardo. Right. We're down to 30 on the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. 30 left. Quick, fast, in a hurry. I'll blizz your name, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. See? Oh, my goodness. That is so whack. It's still spinning. That is so whack. I'm going to respin that wheel. Boom. I had to respin it. It looked like it's going to be CMG. It was coming close, but it wasn't. That's so jacked up. Oh, man, that's so jacked. Grill Attack is, ladies and gentlemen, it's off the board.
You lose.
That is so jacked up. Oh, man. Let's keep this wheel spinning for the winning. Gears tomorrow. That's right. Gears is tomorrow. Oh, my goodness, man. Do I want to dig back? Oh, man. Got it for free. Gears upgrade from Microsoft. Dub City, man, is out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
You are out of here.
Down to 28. Disgusting. Should have been CMG. Tariq, ladies and gentlemen, is off the board. Please exit left. Yeah, he's out of here. Cut this down. It's a little loud in the headphones. Who's up next to catch the flex? It will be. Look, it's going to be Megan. Bye, Megan. Appreciate you coming through, though.
You lose.
Get out of here. Keep it moving and grooving. So next to catch the flex. Get this wheel spinning for the winners. Up to 26 in the mix. My track 3. It look it's going to be you, bro.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. All right, listen. If Gaming Dad wins, I'm giving it to my brother Steve M in the building. If I win, Steve M gets the shot at it. Let's go. Tormentor 20, like you're gonna be off of the list, buddy.
You lose.
All right. Next up will be our special winner tonight. You know how we do our special winners. And tonight's special winner will be newcomer to the chat, PS Godson. Man, you are our special winner tonight. But this is how we do our special winners.
Psych.
Better luck next time. Slugheads.
PS God is off the board, man. Thanks for coming through, man, hanging out with us, man, giving yourself an opportunity to win. But we must go on. 23 left on the wheel still. And up next to catch the flex will be another newcomer tonight. Big T, T3. You out of here.
Better luck next time. Slugheads.
All right. Who's up next to catch the flex? It will be Jet Black 12. Mighty Swell.
Very good. You know something? Nothing from you.
1 year. Next. All right. Who's up next? Catch the flex down to 21. 21. Quay 311. Las Vegas in the building. All right. Keep it moving and grooving. Oh, man, not Gaming Dad. Nope, but it's going to be Geeky 2. Hit it with Donkey Kong. Geeky out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Who's up next to catch the flex? It will be. Ooh, it's getting close. Break Bad 881. No fun underneath the sun. Hit him one time. All right. Keep it wheel smoothly moving to the grooving. Who's up next to catch the flex? It will be, my brother, Irish fan 71. He's having fun under the sun, but
You lose.
is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it moving. Up next to catch the flex. Who would it be? It's going to be Kraken Shell 5. One time. Peace out, my brother. Keep it moving. We're down to 16. Who could it be? Supersonic Saved by Grace.
You lose.
It's out of here. We keep it moving. I don't know if this thing gonna flip back on me again. Try to give me some more advertisement. We're down to 15 for the win. It's not gonna be PC. Phantom Katrina, you are out of here. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Down to 14. 14. CMG. Exit left. CMG's off the board, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Who's up next? Catch the flex. It will be. Don't tell me CMG again. Don't tell me going back to back. Nope, new Cap 7 is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Let's go. Oxford Trapper, like you gonna be up next for the flex.
You lose.
Out of here. Down to 11. Steve, no, might be Bassett 24/7. All right. Who's up next? Catch the flex. Who will it be? J Biggs, Mr. New York for life. New York. CMG should have been off like 12 years ago. I'm just saying. Oh man, GT says CMG should have been off like 12 spins ago. Just saying. We're down to 9. He said, "Yeah, you almost went back to back. Oh, they did it to me again. Oh, that's so terrible. I gotta spin it again. That's so terrible. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Baz at 24/7. All right, we're down to 8 in the mix. Who could it be? And it's not Sonic 2. All right, we're down to 7. I'm gonna wait for a minute to get some of these comments. PS Sonic. All right. Get his live on. It says nice. They talking to the haters and thanks. I'm sure I will whenever I get around to playing it. That was so funny. Almost went back to back. That saved my entry. Oh man, this is how I go. All right, we're down to 7. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ooh, it's getting close. This one getting close. Dion Freeman was our winner from last week. That means it would definitely be a new winner, but we're down to 6 in the mix. 6 in the mix. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Geeky's mom is off the board. Please exit left, ma'am. Down to 5. Uh-oh. Look, it's going to be your boy. It might be your boy. Oh, Steve M is still in the building, though, because if I win tonight, it's going to Steve. CMG says Battlefield 2042 is $3. I forget to mention that on Steam right now. Oh, man, I might have to pick that up just to have it in the library. I survived the whole geeky family. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen, we got the Final Four going on. This is all legendary status. Your boy Gaming Dad, a.k.a. Steve, is in the Final Four. CMG is in the Final Four. The Hater, Guerrilla Tactics, and Sonic Knuckles Tails is back in the Final Four. But it can only be a battle for 2. So 2 of y'all got to go. Who up next to catch the flex? Who will it be? Will it be me or you? Sonic, you got to go.
You lose.
Off the board. Down to 3. Now 2. Who's up next? The Hater. Guerrilla Tactics. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen, for a second week in a row, it's your boy Gaming Dad in the winner's circle going against New York's finest, CMG Cherryman Gaming. Check him out on YouTube. But this is your boy. Without any further ado, where Nick Cannon at? I'm gonna fire Nick. Nick's supposed to be in here in the mix. I might have to say next week, no drums. I gotta find. Oh, there we go. Where's Nick Cannon at? There we go. There we go. Drums, please. Ladies and boys and girls, tonight's winner will be Gaming Dad. Gaming Dad. And your boy does it again. Back-to-back weeks. It's your boy, Gaming Dad CMG. I'm sorry, my brother. You came close, but no cigar. Please exit left. CMG's Other Boy Legend. And again, for the second week in a row, some might say that it's rigged, but I say it's not. 2 weeks in a row, it's your boy Gaming Dad. Giving the winners to my boy Steve M in the building. I will send you that $10 holla tonight. Quay said he done did it. He done did it. Congratulations to GD. No, my winners tonight goes to my boy Steve M. You give him the love, but said back-to-back weeks. Sus will. Every time Grin attacked and lost, I said, you know what?
You lose.
All right, tonight's winner will go to my boy Steve M. Your boy Gaming Dad is on a winning streak. 2 weeks in a row. Let's go for 3. If I win 3 times in a row, boy, listen, you're not gonna hear the end of it. But 2 weeks is good enough for your boy Gaming Dad. First time in Gaming Dad streaming history. This week in gaming, first time back-to-back winner, your boy GD. All right, good people, listen, you know how I do it in my show. I just want to give thanks and praises to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for just giving us this opportunity to be able to do the things that we like to do here on earth. I just pray that as you are navigating yourself throughout this land, that you never forget who you should be serving. Take advantage of this opportunity, man, to look at your life, man, and say, you know what? If I'm doing anything more than I should be praying or reading God's word. If you can answer that question, you need to realign some things and ask, 1, for forgiveness, and then 2, start spending some more time with him. You know what? I'll tell you. You just never know the things that he wants to teach you on a daily basis, but your heart got to be open up to it. So let me get my prayer on. Bow your heads wherever you may be. Dear Heavenly Father, I give you all the honor, glory, and praise on this wonderful day. I ask and pray, Lord, that you touch every last person that's here on this stream tonight. Those that might have watched it later, Lord, I pray, Lord, you bless and touch them, Lord. I pray, Lord, in the name of Jesus, Lord, you continue to bless us, Lord, and our families. I pray, Lord, that you bless those who may be out there dealing with sicknesses and illnesses, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you touch them right now, Lord, and heal their bodies, Lord. They can't praise you from the grave, Lord. So give them an opportunity, Lord, to get themselves together, Lord, get their lives together, and be able to praise you while they're here, living here on earth today. I thank you for this day, Lord, and I thank you for the promise of tomorrow. And I thank you, Lord, for the blessings that you will provide all of us, Lord, and those that love you and adore you and seek your kingdom and your wisdom. I pray, Lord, that you bless them this wonderful evening. We thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to be able to pray to you, Lord. And I ask and pray, Lord, that you continue to bless me and other fellow teachers on this channel, Lord, that you bless us in our classrooms, and you bless the students in which we are entrusted to serve, Lord, and we give these things that we desire over to you, Lord. We surrender them to you, Lord, because we know, Lord, that you'll bring it back to us, Lord, in an amazing way. And we thank you, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray and give thanks to you on this wonderful day. Amen. Good people, this is your boy Gaming Dad, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, coming through. He says, man, introducing pop-ups now to pretend he doesn't know how I'm losing. I don't, man. It's not me to do the pop-up. I'm telling you, man, it is these ads, and I don't know how to get rid of them. I might have to do like I did before. Before I went to something else different, but I like this particular wheel. It just works. But you know what? These ads they just pop up and they be like, you know what? Download this. It's like, no, I don't want to download that. I just want to just use the wheel. So it is what it is, man. Good people, man. God bless y'all this week, man. God bless y'all. I hope y'all be safe out there traveling. No matter if you're traveling on the subways or on the bus, on your car, or the motorcycle, wherever you're traveling. I just pray that you get there safely. Have yourself a wonderful week, man. Listen, um, I don't really have nothing coming up. You know what? I do have a video. I bought a case for a case. So I bought I'm using um the case, the Mamba case. And so, but there's a case that you can buy for that to carry around. So I bought one of those and do a review on that. So that should be coming this week. And I'm hoping to put some gameplay of Madden, kind of back out there, some shorts. And that's really about it, man. I'm trying to think of anything else I'm buying this week. And I'm gonna have some gameplay of Shinobi later on this week. So look forward to that, man. If I got some free time on Saturday, because I might, but I don't know I go for orientation for my new job tomorrow. So I might be working this weekend, but if I'm not, we got to get it in on Saturday evening, play some Mario Kart. All right, good people. This is the hater says you got that Kirby pre-order video coming. Oh, what you mean? Listen, I'm gonna if I can convince I'm gonna need my son to go with me. If I can convince them to go in there and let me do that video, that would be super dope. I might try to do that. Just for my boy GT. 'Cause I think that would be a hilarious video, and I think he will get some views. Oh man, Dion says, "Amen." CMG, amen. PS, Godson with the praying hands. I appreciate y'all. All right, good people. Listen, I like to end my video on the immortal words of Don Cornelius from Soul Train. Peace, love, and soul, good people. Have a wonderful week. And this your boy Gave Me Dad. And hopefully, if I get this right, I'm Audi 5000G. Peace.